Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel where we dive deep into confidence and charisma and the abundant mindset that really drives us forward. And today, my name is Yuri Choi. Just in case you didn't know, we're exploring something truly transformational that I think would really support you for you to know, which is the 4 neurotransmitters that can really reignite your happiness and motivation. So whether you're a CEO, entrepreneur, or high achiever, or anyone that's just really feeling the weight of the burnout, understanding these powerful brain chemicals can help you reclaim your energy and the drive that you get to have. So let's break it down. And my intention for you is that you start to feel empowered just by learning about these things. So the 4 different neurotransmitters that we will talk about today is dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. So you guys probably have heard of this before, but let's start with dopamine. So, known as the reward chemical, it really fuels our motivation and desire to achieve goals. And as high achievers, we often thrive on success, but burnout can deplete our dopamine levels. When we understand how to boost it, we can get back on track. So, here's how to elevate your dopamine. Number 1, set small, achievable goals. Celebrate even the tiniest victories. Each small win can build momentum. And the feeling of feeling like you've achieved something is really important. So something that I do for for some of my clients is to, instead of making like a to-do list of like 20 things, and I know we all have 20 plus things to do, but make your list top 3 and then cross it off. And by the end of the third thing on the, list, celebrate, like really celebrate, really take a moment to feel good about it, and you can get into the mindset of, having achieved something. And this can actually boost your dopamine. Number 2, exercise regularly. I cannot really emphasize this enough. I exercise every single day. Physical activity of any sort is going to be a natural dopamine booster. So even like a short walk between your calls or, your workflow, it can really make a difference. For me, every single day, I'm doing something. I'm either going to the gym, I'm doing yoga, I'm going for a walk, or a combination of all these, or going to dance even at home. There's so many things that you can do just to really get your blood flowing and your body moving. If you think about it, your body, you literally only have one body to live in your entire life. Health is wealth. Without your health, you literally cannot do anything. And this is something that I really learned by watching, my dad's health decline when he was sick with cancer. And I will never take my physical well-being for granted, but also this is the most natural thing that's going to actually boost your dopamine. It's actually been shown too that dancing can really boost your dopamine. So that's something that you can do. If all fails, just put on a song that you love and just start dancing. Number 3, practice mindfulness. Meditation, and there's an abundance of research on this now. Meditation, visualization, I mean, these kind of practices can really clear out your mental space and also can literally decrease the part of your brain that experiences stress, decreasing the part of your brain that, produces cortisol, so that it actually could completely like changes the structure of your brain. So even like an 8-week study where people were meditating to like 20 to 30 minutes a day, they saw a decrease in the part of the brain that is responsible for creating stress hormones and actually increasing the capability for us to feel good. So practicing mindfulness can be really powerful. Now, nowadays, I've been practicing meditation for many, many years, since like 2008, 2009. Now I can sit down if I really want to. I can meditate for like an hour or two. This wasn't always the case. There was a time in my life, literally meditating for like 3 minutes felt like the most difficult thing and also most useless thing. So I totally feel you if you're at that stage, but just know that over time it does get better. And this is going to help you in all the different aspects. For me, anxiety used to be like my just like my baseline. And I didn't even know that until I really started to experience what it feels like to live in a non-anxious, relaxed state. And it's beautiful, it's powerful, it allows me to be creative, it allows me to be a better human being. I'm less triggered. I can actually stay present to people's conversations and actually hold space and feel good about all that. So there's so many benefits, but if you want to get started in practicing mindfulness and this is difficult for you, my invitation for you is start small, but also start by doing something even more mindfully, even if it's just like an everyday thing. So even eating, take a moment, look at what you're about to eat. Think about all the people that were involved in the food of that making. And take a moment to like really take in the, taste or the sense or the smell or what it looks like go through one sense by one sense and really take in the food. And this kind of practice alone, just slowing down, can be a really it could be a really powerful start to becoming more mindful. That's quite easy to access. So I hope that helps. Number two is serotonin. Serotonin is the mood stabilizer. So this transmitter is all about stabilization and feeling good. So high stress and long work hours or just being stressed out, burnt out can really lower your serotonin. And this is why oftentimes, people can feel really disconnected and you can feel lonely, you can feel anxious, you can feel sad. Now, by taking charge of serotonin in your body, we can elevate that feeling. Number one, spend time in sunlight. So there's been research that, sunlight, which is the thing that's going to increase the levels of vitamin D in your body. Natural light can increase serotonin because of that. And it can also boost other happy neurotransmitters, but mainly serotonin. So, that's something that you can do very, very simply. Number two, gratitude journaling. I mean, this alone can have a massive impact. There's an abundance of research now that gratitude, just taking a moment to be thankful for something, can really shift your mood. So, if you're watching this right now, take a moment right now. What are you grateful for today? Pick three things, top three things that you're grateful for. Or if you typically say like, oh, my family, my dog, my health, you have like your top three go-to, look around you, get a little bit creative, do something or acknowledge something that you don't typically acknowledge. Something simple, something little, maybe your teeth, maybe the fact that you can breathe, maybe the view, maybe air, like something that you don't typically um, are like, going to be grateful for, take a moment to acknowledge that and really feel into that. It's something so powerful and so simple that you can do to boost your levels of serotonin in your body. Number three is healthy diet. So foods are rich in tryptophan, like salmon, turkey, nuts, and these kind of food can really help. I mean, I have not been like a super diety person ever in my life, but I have some general rules that I follow. And to be honest with you, instead of going through like these really intense, like fast or diets, I think it's good to just have some simple rules that you can follow for the rest of your life rather than, something that you go like super intense and then you forget about and then go back to your old patterns. So for me, and pick what works for you, but what works for me is trying to eat whole foods as much as possible. So typically during the week, especially if I'm not like eating out with my friends, I'm just eating whole foods. And it's just pretty simple, like non-processed food. And I try to decrease my intake of carbs. Pretty simple. So if I have a choice, so for example, I typically get this bowl at my gym. Instead of eating rice, I ask for quinoa. And I know quinoa has carbs too, but it's slightly healthier. It has more protein. So that substitute makes me feel good. If I have a choice between eating, pizza and a salad, I'm not avoiding pizza because I don't like it or because it's bad. Rather, I'm just looking at the ingredient. Okay, this has more of processed food and this is more whole. So for me, these are simple rules I follow. I try to decrease my sugar intake. I've never been like a huge dessert person, so I'm mindful of that. I don't drink as much anymore, and when I do, it's no more than like one or two like glasses of wine at max, maybe like once a month. So I have these like very loose general rules that I follow that typically make me feel really good. So create something, and then I eat a lot of veggies. I eat a lot of I actually been eating a lot more veggies or like protein that's coming from plant-based food. And again, I don't even like Beyond Meat because it's still really processed, it's not whole. So as whole as possible. When I eat meat, I try to eat whole, like meat, whole meat, that sounds weird, but meat that has not been processed as much as possible. So think of serotonin as like your inner sunshine. So when you nurture it, you glow from within, you can spread that like good vibes and you become more resilient. Another thing that you can do quickly, well, let's actually go into oxytocin. And by the way, a lot of these neurotransmitters are also related. So if you eat healthy and you work out, it's also going to increase your dopamine levels, endorphin levels. So it's not just like one, but we're just talking about dominantly which neurotransmitter is going to be the most effective. So you can start to kind of incorporate into your daily life in a practical way and making sure that you're really covering all the changes in all four of these neurotransmitters. Number three is oxytocin. This is the love hormone. People often, associate oxytocin with like, relationship or physical touch, like hugs, something that really warms your heart, social gatherings. People know this as like the sex hormone. There's been some research that yes, it can increase your oxytocin, but also there has to be like the most important thing is that there's some kind of actual emotional connection too. So not just like the physical touch, but some kind of emotional connection. So oxytocin, love hormone, enhances the feelings of trust and bonding. For CEOs, entrepreneurs, and these kind of people, strong relationships, building relationship is everything. So by increasing your levels of oxytocin, you're going to be able to connect with yourself better and therefore other people better too. Um, Number one, this is really simple. Connecting with your loved ones. Call up your friend, call up your mom, call up your grandma, and just spend some time talking to them or go visit them. Go spend actual quality time with them. This alone, give them a hug. This can increase your oxytocin levels. And it's so easy. And I mean, this is just something that's so priceless and so important anyway. Spend some time with your loved ones. Number two, not perform, but like offer an act of kindness that's random or whatever. So simple gestures can really boost your levels of oxytocin. Just paying for somebody's coffee out of nowhere. Sometimes I'll go to lunch with my friends and I just want to buy them lunch. And if I have that pull, I just honor that. And that feels so good. Or I'll just randomly stop at a, flower shop and bring them flowers. Or I'll invite them into my home and hold like a gathering. Something that really makes me step into the giving mode. That can really increase your levels of oxytocin. Number three, mindful touch. So hugs, handshakes, these kind of things can really build your trust and oxytocin and connection. And even within yourself, you can really take the time to just like nurture yourself. This is really easy. I also noticed that for me, getting massages really help. That can also increase your oxytocin. And you can even intentionalize it like that, which will also support you. So you can say, hey, today I'm going to go get my massage because I want to mindfully increase my levels of oxytocin. You can literally do that and you can intentionalize that if you like. Oxytocin is really the glue that binds us. Again, a lot of people know this as like the connection or intimacy hormone. That's not the only way that you get it. You can get it through a lot of emotional connection or mindful touching, something that really brings your heart energy out. And this is so important, not just so that you can not feel burnt out, but just humanity, we got to remember why we do what we do. And typically, for a lot of people, it's because they have some deeper why that's connected to their loved ones or humanity or whatever. So connect to that. That'll always feel good. And I don't always say always, but when I do, it's very intentional, as my clients know. Okay, number four is endorphins, which is the pain relieving happy neurotransmitter. So, this is kind of like your body's natural painkiller, and it brings a sense of euphoria, or it can. It can combat burnout by number one, like if you just choose to laugh. You can watch a funny video or, share a joke. You can literally take a moment and just like make yourself laugh. I know that sounds crazy. There's actually this whole thing called laughter yoga. So all you do is actually laugh. And a lot of times we think that laughter has to be a reaction to something funny, when in fact, laughter actually can be the leader of how we feel. Meaning, if we laugh because we've laughed so many times in our lives, there's already associations within our bodies that says, oh, she's laughing. That must mean something funny happened. That must mean that she's happy. So then it actually invites our happy neurotransmitters to be amplified and that feeling to be amplified. It's like almost like reverse conditioning, right? So it's actually quite powerful if you can intentionally laugh. I do this sometimes, especially like if I'm, waking up and for whatever, even though it's quite rare, I wake up and I'm kind of feeling blah, then I will literally, and this is all intentional, I'll literally go Google or YouTube funny cat video or funny baby like falling video. I don't know, something that I know. I have a few go-tos that I know will make me laugh, or I'll watch a funny comedian that I like, and I make sure that I laugh my ass off before I start the day. And it's so powerful. And this is why, because this increases the neurotransmitter endorphin and also other neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, all that. Number two, as we talked about, exercise. Especially like running, you've heard of like runner's high. This is real. I know this because I used to be a runner. I don't run as much anymore, but whenever I do cardio, whenever I do yoga, I literally feel that high. That high is coming from the heightened levels of endorphins in our body. So we earlier talked about any kind of movement, which can increase the dopamine level. But again, exercise can really amplify every single happy neurotransmitter in our body and in our brain. So it's super powerful. Again, meditation is also powerful for endorphins. Number three, creative activity. So engaging in any hobbies that you love can be incredibly fulfilling, or doing something that's creative or out of your comfort zone, out of your normal routine can really be powerful too. So any kind of creative activities can increase the levels of your endorphins, which is literally your painkiller. And it can actually decrease your levels of stress in your body. So endorphins are kind of like your way of celebrating life. Like when you engage in activities that genuinely bring you joy, you get to remind yourself that there's so much beauty in living. So anyways, by understanding and harnessing these powers of these neurotransmitters in our body and becoming aware of the impact that they have on us, we can overcome burnout and step into an even more powerful state, confident state, and a state of well-being. And remember, it's about small, consistent actions that really create these big ripple effects of changes. So if you found this video to be helpful, remember that it's good to do it once. But the reason that I, help my clients in the way that I do, one of the core values is accountability, so that I can continuously help them reach their goals on a consistent basis, typically on a weekly basis. And that alone can be really powerful. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. But also, if you would like, feel free to book your initial call with me if you feel that there's something that I can, potentially support you with. But other than that, let's spread the word, empower ourselves so that we can reclaim our happiness and our motivation so that we can all go out there and do what we're meant to do. We're powerful people. We all have a mission and a purpose. And when we're healthy, when we're happy, when we're taking care of ourselves, not only externally, but also internally, and our brain and our neurotransmitters, we can really show up. We have the best chance of showing up, at least, as the best version of ourselves. And then we benefit, people around us benefit, and the world benefits that way. And remember, you have the power within to feel informed, uplifted and incredibly empowered at any time. So until next time, I hope that was helpful. Feel free to message me on Instagram if you would like. Feel free to add me there. My handle is Yuri1C. I'll go and include all that information down below. Or if you would like to schedule your call, I'll also include that. I also have a book called Creating Your Own Happiness and 13 other co-authored books. So if you are curious about any of those, feel free to let me know. Let me know what landed for you if you would like in the comments. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here, and I can't wait to chat soon. Have a beautiful day, or I'll come back soon.